Oxfordshire, with its stunning natural scenery, well-preserved heritage and thriving community life. So what has a landfill site got to do with all of this? Well, they've more in common than you might think.
For every tonne of waste that comes over our weighbridge, we're able to reclaim a small percentage, about 6% of that tax. We're then able to give that through Waste Recycling Environmental Limited, WREN, back to the local community into projects that qualify under the Landfill Communities scheme. Here in Oxfordshire, in 2009, we were able to commit over £400,000 to the local community. And the feedback we get from that through our voluntary panels that help us to deliver that is very, very encouraging to us, that the money is really worthwhile and very much welcomed.
This is RSPB Otmoor, the largest recipient of WREN funding in Oxfordshire. David Wilding is the site manager and knows the real difference that this kind of help can make.
We've received £250,000 funding from WREN, and with the help of that funding we've been able to build this fantastic hide that you can see behind us, and we've also been able to restore this amazing habitat here into this kind of former glory of wet grassland habitat. We've seen wildlife come back, we've seen redshank, snipe and lapwing come breed in the areas, we've seen otters return to our rivers as well. So that for biodiversity it's been brilliant, but for people, the local people are coming down and using the hide, using the facilities. We've had school children come into the hide as well and use it as an education resource. To see people come down and enjoy the hide and get close to wildlife has been brilliant.
The government is due to review contributions from the waste industry in the hope of maximising the benefits to the environment and the economy. Minister of Culture and local MP Ed Vaizey has been visiting WREN projects that have done just that.
Over the years I've seen a lot of projects that WREN have backed in this part of the world inside my constituency, and I think they're incredibly valuable resource for local community groups. I always say to people who are trying to raise money, have you thought of contacting WREN? And I see it as part of my job to make sure that the good work that WREN does is known among the local communities, so that people know where they can access funds, and also work with an organisation that's very supportive, very easy to deal with. It's about projects that come from the ground up, where people are driving them on the ground and saying this is what we want, and then getting in touch with WREN, and WREN as it were, bridging that gap between the aspirations of local people and the funding that's needed.
Didcot Town Council and Soha Housing have big plans for this area.
The project will make a really big difference. There's no community centre, there's nowhere for people to come. People don't have their own gardens necessarily in the flats, so it gives them a place where they can all come together and work and build on good community spirit.
I know that before we were doing this, it's all a bit odd, like the people you wouldn't normally talk to them and you don't get on very well, but with this it brings you together and start playing with more people. So, yeah.
I think from a council's point of view, it helps us spread our money more and makes us able to put capital projects in the ground that we wouldn't be able to afford to do ourselves.
38 village halls, 21 nature reserves and open spaces, 40 play areas, just some of the great work that WREN has been helping to fund here in Oxfordshire. Didcot Railway Centre used its grant of £20,000 to help fund the preservation of this World War II beehive air raid shelter.
This country is at war with Germany.
I think it's very important that people today can see what things were like in wartime, but also those people in generations to come. Societies like ours don't find funding very easily, and this grant has made it possible for us to do this project.
The refurbishment and the reinterpretation of the air raid shelter here at the Railway Centre is quite an exciting project for WREN, in that it brings together a number of different strands of the sort of projects that we can get involved with. I mean, obviously it's an historical construction, something that is a part of our heritage, which is a fabulous resource for local schools, but it is also within a visitor attraction. It brings together the general public, the school children for the education, a bit of history, and that fits in very neatly with our giving something or improving something for communities.
David Cameron's government is about the big society. It's all about local empowerment, local decision making and so on. We have gone about our business by creating regional panels, so it's very much local decisions being made by local people with local outcomes. We're looking for a lasting impact and a lasting development in those communities.
If you want to find out more about local funding for local people with real local benefits, please visit the website.